Hello and welcome back. My name is DDubble, but you can just call me Dell, and welcome to our GBA draft analysis. I apologize, I am a little under the weather as it is very smoky out, so you get the raspiness of a very smoked out Canadian Western Canadian voice today. If you guys are excited for this season of GBA, please let me know down below. I am pumped to be bringing this team to you guys. I can't say enough good things. This was a blast. This was an auction style draft for the first half of it, and then the second half was points. My good friend and our assistant coach, OG Albina, aka Owen, helped us out during the draft. He made a lot of our initial picks. So going through like the higher tier mons in the auction portion, and then I kind of followed it up with the picks in the back half. So we really worked together on this draft. I kind of gave him some ideas because drafting's not exactly my strong suit on a lot of things. And Owen was able to really help me out with that and kind of make my ideas come to life. So big shout out to OG Albine. If you guys haven't already, please go check him out. His links will be in the description down below, along with all the other GBA coaches and things like that. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. So to start off, we have our captain. I was pumped at pick. I was super early in the draft. Talking with Owen before this, I was like, we gotta get Valiant. I really like Valiant. I've wanted to use this thing in a Wi-Fi league forever now. I've had it in a couple showdown leagues. It's always been successful. This thing always trades like 2 for 1. No matter what you bring it, it's just a consistent breaker, consistent sweeper, late game, early game, does whatever you want, and it's just awesome. The fairy fighting type Iron Valiant, our Wayne Gretzky, the nickname for this guy. He is our Terra Captain as well, will be fairy and ghost. The thought with ghost is we want to be able to have something to break through those bulky psychics that can often stuff this Pokemon, as well as give us a boosted shadow sneak. As you can see on the screen here, wide variety of items, booster energy, choice specs, choice scarf, life orb, anything that's really going to give this thing a boost to its offensive prowess is super useful always. So really excited to be able to use Iron Valiant in this season of the GBA, and I honestly think we're going to have a really great showing with them. So after this, we kind of bounced around a little bit. We knew we wanted some bulk. We knew we wanted a very good pivot, something that's able to get Valiant in easily. So we ended up landing with Smith here, our Galvanians Loking. That's our captain, Captain, Mr. Smitty. Positive always to have a good bulky pivot with the new chilling reception, being able to switch in and out very freely, sponge a hit, click that button, and go into either Valiant or some of our other Pokemon in the back half of this draft. To revenge on things that are a little annoying to switch into. Super useful. Lefties, assault vest, some berries. You can even run it offensively. This thing's no slouch at 110 special attack. We do plan on having some fun with it. Pardon me. Little cut there. We do plan on having some fun with it for some offensive builds as well. Trick room options, things like that. Definitely bulky enough to take any hits, so weakness policy is always on the table, so I hope the other coaches are looking out for that. But yeah, super excited. We got basically the best pivot in the game right after having the best, in my opinion, the best Terramon in the game with Iron Valiant moving into Galvanians Loking. So super hyped on this one. Not a whole lot really to go into it. If you know what G-King does, it takes a hit, switches out, gets you into the thing that's going to kill the thing that just hit you. So really excited to have this guy on our team. Next up, we move into Adamsky, our Thunderous Incarnate. Just a top tier. The genies are always so good. Between Prankster and Defiant, the ability to run physical or special. Did lose a couple moves, but not enough to really classify this as like a nerfed mod. This thing hits like a tank. If you watched our battle versus Kurt, you also know that this thing can just obliterate you if you do not prep for it properly. Spammable electric moves at a 110 speed is always a good thing. I'm going to play it very similarly to Valiant, but you can run supportive sets. And this thing has some decent bulk, too. Like, you can't slouch on it. Between, like, substitutes, bulk up, you know, the ability to run like Volt Switch sets, T-Wave, Prankster sets, some more bulky things to kind of sponge some hits. It's very, very, very useful. Normally seen as more of a VGC Pokemon, at least from my experience with Thundy. But I think this thing is going to be phenomenal for us this season. Just having something that can come in, obliterate those bulky waters, and really help us gain momentum with Volt Switch. Once again, pivoting around, getting us back into our Valiant, which is what we want to be in most of the time with, is a wonderful thing. So super excited to have Adamsky, the Thunderous Incarnate, on our team. After this, you know, we bounced around a little bit. We needed a good Spadef wall, something that can really help in breaking more of those psychic types, because at the end of the day, you never have enough breakers to get through that kind of garbage. I thought Ttar was a wonderful pickup here. Owen came in with the idea. I just loved it. It's one of my favorite mons to use in draft. I am a Ttar stan, so I know all the Ttar lovers out there. I'm riding with you. Just a great pseudo. The ability to have Assault Vest, but you can also run, you know, Bandit sets or Focus Sash or the Rock, Smooth Rock. There it is, Smooth Rock, to keep Sandstorm keeping off of going. But don't sleep on the fact that this thing also has on nerves. So like, if you know that you're going to be facing a Colbermon or something along those lines, or you know, something that's 4 times weak, I Choice Scarf this, Ion Nerve. What are you switching into? You know, you have to take an Ice Beam now with your Salamence, or you have to take a Flamethrower with your Fortress, or a Power Gem with your Talonflame, and all of a sudden your Charty Berry or your Colbur or your Yachi or whatever is no longer popping. So this is a very useful mon in that sense. Can completely break through a team as well, and it also sets rocks, so it's never a bad thing to have, you know, something like that kick it around in the back half of your team. Very excited to be having Curry on our team, not Steph. This is Yari Curry. Objectively better. Fight me about it. Go Oilers, go. Our next pick, we moved in the back half. We're getting closer and closer to just regular drafting, but this was our last auction pick. And we ended up picking up Hisui and Goodra. Now, this wasn't necessarily because we wanted to. It was a little bit more out of necessity. Just weren't landing on certain picks that we wanted. Other people were overpaying for things, and some stuff was getting underpaid for. When we got Hisui and Goodra, it was both good and bad. This is a wonderful Pokemon. I think it's got a lot of potential. It actually has a ton of physical bulk. The HP stat is good. You don't need to run a ton of special defense in it all the time. Sap Sipper and Shell Armor offer 2 very different things. If you want to go with a Shelter, Acid Armor is better anyways. But if you want to go with like a Shelter set, Shell Armor, Shelter, and some Rest makes it really hard to break through, especially with the access to Body Press that this Pokemon has. So being able to also deal with the other Steel types on the other side of the field, it completely checks those. Being neutral to Dragon is not necessarily a bad thing. Being neutral to Fairy is not exactly ideal out of your Steel type, but it is something that we can work around. And I do appreciate the fact that this Goodra cannot be affected by T-Spikes because it is that Steel type. So bit of a benefit there for us in that sense. The bulk on this thing and the special attack is nothing to be slept on either. You can absolutely throw some choice specs on this, drop a Draco, and nuke something. So I plan on messing around with it a lot this season. I think it's a wonderful design, and I also really like it shiny. It's got a lot of charm to it for me, and I'm just happy they finally gave Goodra something. So really excited to use this Pokemon. I think it's going to be a big benefit for us this year. So I hope you guys are looking forward to seeing some Hisui and Goodra from the Coilers this season. After this, we started to move into the points side of our draft. Now, our first pick with points was basically roll compression. We wanted a spinner, we wanted knockoff, we wanted stealth rocks, we wanted Donphan. Donphan fits this team beautifully, offers us everything that I just said. It's a great physical wall. You can assault vest it as well, and it has enough HP that it just becomes an annoying tank. The attack on this thing is also something that a lot of people sleep on. Offensive Donphan is something that can absolutely blow through you if you were not prepared for it. Switching into a 120 base attack Earthquake sucks. Ice Shard Revenge sucks. Like I said, knockoff, Gunk Shot, options. Its move pool is phenomenal. It has everything it needs to function as an offensive breaker. And it's also a great defensive Pokemon, you know. Being able to have sturdy, sponge a hit as long as rocks aren't up. Lefties. Boots is also a great option, so you don't lose that sturdy. So you always have sturdy in the back. You got that one time oh shit button, which is awesome. I need an oh shit button sometimes, and I think this is exactly that Pokemon. So very happy with Donphan here. This is Horkoff, Sean Horkoff, one of my favorite players of all time. Bless his heart. The Donphan. So very excited for this one. After Donphan, we needed a little bit of speed to kind of fill that little gap. This also gives us a ground resist, which is something I didn't exactly have up until this point. So we ended up with Rotomo, Jordan Eberle, our Rotomo. This is a wonderful Pokemon. Basically, everything Thundurus does in pivoting, but with the annoyance of status spreading. So Will-O-Wisp, the ability to nuke the ground water types in the format, the ability to blow back most ground types in the format, even though you're an electric type, is awesome. Leaf Storm, obviously not being the most effective move all the time, but allowing for some shenanigans with Eject Pack is wonderful. You can Citrus this guy, you can Lefties this guy, you can do anything you want. Specs, Choice Scarf, Trick Sets, Iron Barb. If I get crazy with it, I get crazy with it. I think this is a wonderful Pokemon. And hell, I might even run Ring Target on it just to hit a Gastrodon with a Thunderbolt instead of a Leaf Storm, because I think that's funny as hell. Shout out to Kurt. I know you're watching this. So, but yeah, very excited for Rotomo. I think this is a wonderful mod. Kind of slots in to fix our ground weakness that we had up until this point. Offers me another pivot into Iron Valiant. And yeah, I think this is a perfect slot. After, we went with more bulk. And by bulk, I meant the fattest fish possible. This is our Wish Passer, Nikolai Happy Bulin, the Alomamola. You can't ask for better. Between leftovers, AV, and like sometimes you run Wakan on this thing, this is a fat Pokemon and hard to deal with and hard to get through. Play Rough, Ice Beam, Liquidation, Chilling Water. You can Baton Pass with it. And Wish, you know, those are basically what you're going to see almost every single week out of it. You know what's happening with Alomamola when it comes out, but that's the whole point. It's there to sponge a hit. I can bring Red Card if I want to for some regen sets to help me pivot around and get myself into Iron Valiant, because this thing can live basically one of anything. That's the beauty of it. You got your setup sweeper in, Alomamola can live one, perfect. Red Card, Aloe, boom, I'm out of there. And now I had another oh shit button. So between Donphan and Alomamola, we have 2 oh shit buttons. Make sure you keep count of that at home. We have 2 oh shit buttons. Very important to a player like me, who sometimes gets a little bit caught up in trying to do a little bit too much during a battle. We're gonna try to reel that in and really try to make some key plays this year and come out as one of the #1 contenders for this freaking championship, man. I am pumped for this, and I think Alomamola, Nikolai Happy Bulin will slot in wonderfully for our championship team this season. So after Aloe, I decided I needed speed. We didn't have anything that 100 speeds here. We had a big gap between like Thundy and Rotom. Really needed something to slot in here. I thought the fact that we could grab Taylor Hall, the Tauros Blaze, Tauros Paldea Blaze, because this thing's got a million names, was a wonderful thing. Another Will-O-Wisper, ability to bulk up and be a really annoying physically offensive threat. Its special defense is nothing to scoff at. You can run AV sets. It's also neutral to Fairy, which isn't a bad thing for my fighting type, considering my other one is the Iron Valiant. So if there's a really annoying Fairy type on the other side of the field that my Valiant can't quite get through, this thing is also an option. Intimidate is a great asset when it comes to Draft League. Being able to switch into something, intimidate it, you know, cycle that Intimidator around with my regen core of Alomamola and Galvanians Loking will make for some very long, drawn-out, annoying battles, especially if I can get some hazards up or some status spread, which is kind of the whole point. This is another Will-O-Wisp user, so we have him, we got Rotom Wash, you know, Loking spreads a lot of Toxic, we got T-Wave across the board on a lot of mons. I think we're going to be a really annoying team to have to prep for, and that's basically all I want. I just want people to be slightly frustrated when they're having to prep, because I often feel that way when I'm prepping myself. So I was tired of the shoe being on the other foot, and it was time for me to put the boot on and start giving it to people. I think Tauros Blaze is going to be a perfect mon to slot in, fixes our speed tiers, breaks through a ton of stuff for us, those steel types especially, which can give Iron Valiant a little bit of trouble. Not a lot, because it is a fighting type, but a little bit of trouble. And yeah, very excited for this mon here. So with 2 picks left, I decided we needed to get our Ghost Resist. I think Farigiraf was one of the best in the format at that. Once again, another Wish Passer with a lot of HP. Access to Armor Tail and Sap Sipper for its abilities. Once again, another immunity. And the option of not being pressured by priority moves. Now, what does this mean? Well, it means that Shadow Sneak, which isn't going to affect us anyways because we're a normal type. Soccer Punch cannot affect us. Ice Shard cannot affect us. The one matchup this season that we will have to face Dragonite. No E-Speed shenanigans. None of that. No. No, no, no. So, wonderful. I don't have to worry about it. Obviously, people are going to know what's coming when they have a very strong priority mon. But that's okay. I'm fine with that. This is a wonderful bulky Pokemon. You can run it kind of physical sometimes. Great special attack. Trick Room option again for me. Once again, another weakness policy option. And it just sponges hits. You know, this thing is great for that. Leftovers and Assault Vest being its 2 most common items to use. This thing can sponge on both physical and special side. But, you know, you're normally with a normal type or a psychic type, you're going to take those special hits a lot better than you will the physical ones. So yeah, it is neutral to fighting, which is kind of my only downside of it. And it is another psychic type for us, which we are doubling up a little bit. But I'm not too concerned about it, considering our dark resists are very good across the board as well. And our things that come into revenge dark types are great. So, but yeah, this is Sam Gagne, our Farigiraf. And finally, for us, I decided with our last pick, and I know Owen isn't the biggest fan of this one, that's okay. I wanted Chris Russell the Carbink. I love Carbink. He's just a cute little fella. I don't know what it is about him. I just really wanted him. Another oh shit button with Sturdy. Granted, it's not doing a whole lot back after you click the oh shit button in Sturdy. Dual screens, dual hazards, spikes, rocks. You know, a little bit of extra at the end of the draft. I felt like we really had everything we needed to be successful, and this just offered us another fairy type. Obviously, another ground weakness, something that I just can't really get away from, and I don't think you can necessarily in Draft League get away from ground weaknesses. I think ground's just such a wonderful offensive typing that it's really difficult to have a draft that's not completely, you know, weak to it under most senses, unless your electric types in the air, like both of mine are. You're probably going to struggle with it a little bit. I think Carbink fills out a lot of the gaps for just extra hazards. You know what you're getting when you see it, but I might explode, so keep that in mind. And this thing does get body press now, so it's not a complete slouch. It's not just like sub fodder. This thing can break most subs, and I don't have to worry too much about him. So, yeah, Chris Russell the Carbink rounds out our roster here. That is going to be the final pick for us. I'm pumped. I think this is absolutely a championship caliber team. I think this is something we can go super deep with. I'm really going to try my hardest to grind out every matchup and play my best for you guys. Me and Owen are working super hard behind the scenes, because I want to be successful here for you. Obviously, I sound like a broken record when I say that, but, you know, I think with Mons especially, it's only something that you get better at the more and more you try. So even if you keep getting knocked down, it's always about getting back up, dusting yourself off, and just trying again. At the end of the day, it's all for fun. That's the best part of this. Being in the GBA is such an honor. At the end of the day, this is an extremely prestigious league. This is something that I know 15-year-old me would probably have like just broken down and started crying if he ever got an invitation to. So I'm just gonna soak it all in, and I'm gonna let myself fanboy a little bit about the fact that we're here. We've achieved what a lot of people haven't been able to in making it into the league, and I'm just gonna bask in the fact that we're extremely lucky to be here. So if you guys are excited for this season, please let me know what you think about the team down below. If you like the nicknames, awesome. I love you, Oilers fans everywhere. And I know a bunch of you in the comments are other hockey fans. That's okay. I just love hockey as a whole, except for Flames. I know there's one Flames fan in the comments. You're cool, but like the rest of you, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna get off now though. The smoke is getting a little bad. My voice is about to give out on me. So I will catch you guys in the next video. Let's coil up, baby. And I'll catch you guys next time. See you Sunday. Bye-bye.